Look at all these amazing Dan Hipp variants. I absolutely love them. There's 76 currently in Marvel Snap. These are all the collectible cards. There are actually a few select more for the data mine cards. I omitted those. These are all the ones that are currently in the game. Maybe the variant isn't actually available, but it's a card that's available, right? So I put it in here. There's 76. There's so many Dan Hipps. Fun little fact. The reason I'm doing this video, well, twofold, is one, this is the second most variant type in the game. Then the first one is pixels, because there's almost a pixel variant for every single card. But the next one is Dan Hipp. Absolutely crushing it. It's one of my favorite styles in the game. So we're going to give a top 5 Dan Hipp variants in this video. But first, you might have noticed a little bit of a daredevil on my mic. Look at this guy. It's so good, okay? It's so good. And then also, I got more stickers, which I'm really excited about. So we got this Groot. Check out that Groot. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. And then also we got the Spidey villains. Oh my goodness. Make sure I get that right. Oh, got a little bit of a dog hair. That's no worries. That's how it goes. Look at this Spider-Man. I wanted to put this one on, but it's reflective. Check that out. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's like a foil Spidey. Oh my gosh, I need these in the game yesterday. We got this awesome Moon Knight, right? I wanted to put this one. I'm going to put it like on a mug or something because it's so good. Oh my gosh. And then lastly, I actually got another print that I'm waiting to get in the mail from Mr. Hipp himself. But then we got this one, the Doctor Strange, and I got one kind of similar on the way. Look at, he's reading a book about Agatha. It's so good. Anyways, Dan Hipp is a fantastic artist. I love that his art is in the game and it's so popular and so beloved. I know some people don't like it, but hey, you can't like every single type of variant. You got your own style. Somebody got their own. Everyone's got different favorites of variants, and that's totally fine. That's why there's so many in the game and why it's so fantastic. I love talking about the art in this game. So admire this wall of Hipp while you can. We're going to switch on over to the top 5. Number 5, Leech. All right, you might hate Leech because of his effect in the game. It's known as being quite the toxic card, but look at this little guy. It's so good. Milky Snap actually just tweeted about this. He just got this in a reserve, so it's definitely in the game. I hadn't seen it up until that point, so I wasn't sure if it was in the game or not, but it is, and it's adorable. I love how his big eyes look like portals almost, like there's like some other dimension going on in Leech's head, and the yellow backsplash with the little beanie hat. Oh my gosh. And he's like stepping through the frame. Oh my gosh. It's so adorable. Honestly, if this variant leeches me, I'm fine with it. One of the things I really like about Dan Hipp variants is that the outlining is very thick. So you can really, when the cards get frame breaked, I find they stand out a lot more than maybe some other ones do. It's easier to frame break. And because the background is just kind of a wash of color, I find splitting them is kind of better. Sometimes there's a lot of art and nice things going on in the background that I don't want to get rid of. So I feel guilty splitting them. But with the Dan Hipps, I want the characters to pop out more. I want some crazy cool backgrounds because it works with the art style. So I really like this one. Gosh, if I own this, imagine this in like the gold foil. I know that's like all kind of redundant. It's already gold, but like trust, if you know, it looks even better. But anyways, let's get to number 4. Number 4, Agatha Harkness. Yo, look at this one. I didn't know this existed. I don't even know if it's in the game, but it looks so good. It's almost already a rainbow foil split, but it's not. So I imagine when this is like frame breaked and animated and all that stuff. Oh my gosh, I have a feeling it would look so good. But what absolutely sold me about this one is the cat in her hands. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. It's got the big eye. It's got the same thing as Leech, basically. Maybe I just like big yellow eyes, but that's adorable, dude. Look how good that is. The little nose, and she's just holding it there. My goodness, this is an Agatha variant. Also, like the shadows and the raised eyebrows looks really witchy, and she's got her little spooky hand coming out, and then the robe at the bottom, she doesn't even have any feet. Look, there's no legs there. It's just space. So I just feel like this one would look so good. And like Agatha variants, there's some really good ones, but this one I think is my favorite out of all the ones I've seen. I think this one's my favorite, and I don't even love the default one. And if you're gonna play Agatha, you might as well have a fantastic variant to go with your deck. So I really like this one. I would love this in the game. Number 3, Knull. All right, so Knull has a lot of great variants, but I really, really like this one. When I first saw all the variants and Knull was coming out, it was like a card that I saved up 6K tokens for, so I was super stoked to get this card. And then this variant was the number one that I wanted for a few reasons. One, I just really like it. I love the pink shading in the background. I think it looks really great. But also, look at the black space on the bottom. That's not just black space. That's like symbiotic gunk that's coming and forming off of Knull, because he's like the god of the symbiotes. He created them, so I think it looks so good. I feel like animated, this would all swoosh around and be so fantastic. Also, the texture on the sword is so creepy. I just really like it. And the hand sticking out, the smile, it looks so good. This one up here, I actually don't love that much. I animated it and frame breaked it and everything, and the little heads pop out, but for the most part, I find it gives me too many It vibes. You know, it's giving me like clown vibes, whereas this feels more like a badass villain, even though it's in the Dan Hipp style, right? It might be one of the most menacing Hipps that I've seen, but there's actually one more in the honorable mentions that might take the cake that almost came in this spot. I was really close between that one or this one. We'll get to that in a bit. Let's get to number two. Number two, Killmonger. All right, this one was a no-brainer for me. I wanted this variant since I started the game. I saw it. I wanted it. It's so good. It's so unique. The background of the fire exploding and him like prowling out is so fantastic. What I like about it is because it's Killmonger's like Black Panther style, right? When he's got the suit on and everything like that. A lot of the Killmongers are where he's just kind of got his shirt off flexing on everybody, which is cool. We can enjoy that. But I prefer the Black Panther style. I think it looks so good with the character. The orange, right? He had that gold trim on his suit, and I feel like this suits it so nicely. And the teeth and the little smirk on the eyes, oh my gosh. Once you get this to the golden border, the stage 4 or whatever it's called, legendary, oh my god, I can't split it. I can't upgrade it. I haven't been able to upgrade that card. I've owned it for the longest time. I love it. It's always my go-to Killmonger. I even have the Venomized Killmonger, and I love that one deeply, but this one just has a special place in my heart. It just feels like one of the most perfect variants in the game. I adore it. I kind of want to get it to that gold foil split background, but I don't know if that's even worth, like I have such a hard time touching it. You know, I wish that you could choose the border. Like I would keep upgrading this card if I could keep the border, the yellow border. Instead, once I get to like rainbow and stuff, I wouldn't enjoy it as much, because this is one of the Dan Hipps, contrary to what I was saying earlier, where I feel like the background is vital to the overall artwork that we're seeing here. The shadows and everything, it's so menacing, it's so good, it's so evil, and he's prowling out of the card, and he's gonna destroy all those 1-drops, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, this one, just from like the dawn of time of me playing Snap, I was in love with it, and honestly, it's one of the ones that made me go, oh yeah, who is this artist? I gotta know this artist to give some respect. Number one, Cosmo. Look at this dog, dude. This is so good. Oh my gosh, this is so good, to the point that Ben Brode himself tweeted about it. He tweets about all kinds of stuff, you know, related to the game. Of course, he wants to promote it, but I don't think he tweeted about Dan Hipp variants. And then he tweeted about this one saying, look how good it is. My goodness, it is so beautiful. I just love it. The dog, he's like floating. He looks like he's floating in the quantum realm or something like that, right? With the colors in the background, and he's just kind of like paws swimming around. Oh my gosh, it's so adorable. The sun flare on the visor, and he's licking. He's got his saliva on the visor too. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It really fits the theme of a space dog. It's like a little lab, and I know it's a she now. I'm just gonna try and remember that as much as I can. I have a female dog as well, but it's so adorable. It's so good. I love the colors. I love the variant. There's a couple of Cosmos that I'm interested in, but like I've literally been holding my boosters just for the time that I see this variant in my shop. I have a select few variants on cards. I'm like, okay, I cannot pull the trigger and get anything else, use my boosters or anything, because I gotta wait for these bangers. And this is on my hit list. This is there because it's so darn cute. And also you play Cosmo all the time, so there's a lot of value in this variant. That's a big thing too, right? So I love this one. I love all these Dan Hipps. My goodness, this was a hard list to put together, but I really like these top 5. They stood out to me a little bit more. I do have some honorable mentions, but definitely comment below from the list that I showed you earlier what your favorite Dan Hipp variant is and which ones you guys own. I have quite a few that aren't even my top 5, but I love them in the game just because I love the art style overall. Maybe I'll talk about that in a second, but let's get to the honorable mentions. Goodness me, look at these honorable mentions. My goodness, it's so good. Okay, so I want to start with one of the ones that I was very, very close to putting in. Well, honestly, they're all close, but Spider-Man. Spider-Man, man, look how good that is. I love the webbed background and it's like a little bit more pixelated. I kind of like that shading that he's got going on, that cell shading that's going on. It's nice for the backgrounds. And again, just look at how the characters pop compared to some of the other variants. The backgrounds aren't really necessary, but the color palette, it complements it so nicely. Like, for instance, straying away from the Spider-Man, we can look at the Black Panther. I actually love that green backsplash to make the character really stand out. I feel like this one would look great in frame break version. I haven't seen it in the game yet, but oh my gosh, it looks so good. But going back to the Spidey, I love it. I love how he's got the shooting out webs, the Spidey senses as well up on the top. Oh my gosh, I just think I really like that one. And then moving over to the left, we got the Wolverine with the claws in his angry face, and he's got a pointy nose, pointy ears. I think it looks so good. It's such a good Wolverine. I would love to see this one frame break. I did it once for a thumbnail of a video, and I liked it so much. And the more I was editing around that picture, I was like, oh my gosh, I want this to be in the game. I want this yesterday. I have the Pixel Wolverine. It fails in comparison. It's not even close. And then look at this lockjaw. Oh, and by the way, while I'm going through this, Spider, Wolverine, Dog, Panther, Rhino, Panther, and then Bat Guy, and then Magneto. So the Magneto is like the only humanoid here that I have. Like, I don't know what it is. There's a lot of animals, and they're really cool, cute. I don't know. But look at Lockjaw. He's so cute. He's slobbering. He's jumping into a portal. He's going to see what he's going to find. He's going to fetch you a bone. Oh my gosh. It's adorable. It's so cute. I love that one so much. And then the Rhino makes me laugh. I had to put it here because I think it looks so funny because he looks so squishy. He doesn't look like somebody who's going to run through a wall. Instead, he looks like cotton candy or something like that. Like, I don't know. I could just touch him and he'd be like a pillow and just fall apart. But I love that for his character because he's kind of a meme anyways in like the Marvel universe, and then also a little bit in Snap. He's like one of the most underused cards and not really that great. So I think this variant is just too funny. You don't want to get too serious with Rhino. You gotta kind of laugh it off. And then the Bast variant, I think this is one of her only few variants that are actually released. I would love this one. It's like her full Panther mode and I adore it. I really want this one high on my hit list as well. The Magneto, so good. I just love, again, that color backsplash, right? It really makes him stand out with his hand and the magnetic field that's going on around that. I love that. That's so cool for the character. So that's a great variant. And then the Dracula one. So when I was talking back about Knull, I almost put Dracula here instead of Knull. It was really close. I love them both. The reason I like this Dracula so much is this one actually has a lot going on in it. You know, we got the clouds in the foreground, we got the moon in the background. It's just a lot menacing. He's got the teeth out, his claws. I just love the overall look of this Dracula. It's really nice. I have a few Dracula variants, in fact, and a lot of them play on the old school style, at least the ones that I own. I know there's a futuristic one and a few other variants, but I think this one would by far be my favorite. Like, if I got the Dan Hipp Dracula, it would be happy days. I would be a very happy little Drewberry. But there you go. Those are my honorable mentions. But gosh, the guys, they're all so good. Like, well, actually, there are a few that aren't so great. I don't love the crystal one. I own it, sadly. I got it from a chest. It's a bit brutal. If you go back to the start and you look at the crystal one, it's a bit rough. So they're not all that great, okay, guys? But let me know what your favorites are. Another few that I own are Giganto. I love that one. I actually bought that one because I thought it's so funny. And the more I play with it, the more I love it. I also have the Iron Man Dan Hipp variant. I got that from the global release of the game. I love that one. I also have the Collector. That one has really grown on me. I really enjoy that I have that variant. I have a few collectors, but that one is by far my favorite. And I also just recently got Drax, and that sadly does it for my Hipps. But these Hipps don't lie. They are fantastic variants, and I'm here for them. This is so good. So definitely let me know what you got in the comments below, or which one's your favorite, which one's on your hit list, because I just love these variants. So anyways, enjoy your Friday, and I will catch you guys next time.